Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it is time for Dynamic Effort Lower Day. But a quick reminder for those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below, be greatly appreciated. Very happy with today's session, felt it was very productive. I went ahead and stuck with what I'm doing on the squats. I added more chain weight this time. Right, got my chain to just a little better. I did increase bar weight, I added chain weight. So I think we went up to 130 pounds, I believe. Or I need to check it, 132, whatever it is. Whatever I put in the notes. Happy with these, did the 5x5, about 1 minute apart between sets. And then I take 30 seconds between the speed pulls. So, again, very happy with the speed overall. Felt like the first set or so, it took me a little bit to get into it, to really get that control I wanted. But, again, these 5x5s are more aggressive. And when you start doing really serious speed work like this, I think a lot of you guys will find the 5x5s are difficult. You better be in shape. Again, I've been dragging my sled every morning, including today. So I did a sled drag before doing this. But again, getting happier with the way these fives are feeling and that ability to try to get tight and hold it for 5 reps and then explode. I feel like it's improving, and I feel like I'm going to get good carryover to everything I'm doing. And yeah, as a lot of people have noticed, my training seems a little more deadlift specialized for this phase, and it is, because I need my deadlift to come back up, and I need it to go up. I feel like squatting, I can get really good squats anytime I want in a very, very short period of time. It doesn't take me much to blow my squat up, as you guys saw earlier this year when I cracked that 605 on a cambered on this bar, right? Because we ended up hitting several lifts over 600. Little small jump, 600, 6.2 and a half, 605. Again, questionable depth, but I can regain most of that anytime I want. Not really a big deal, and just work on getting deeper, which will be what we do next time we start focusing on back squatting. We'll work on the depth a little bit when I pull the box out. But I feel like doing all these deeper boxes to where I'm making sure I go below parallel on all my speed boxes. I think that'll help. And doing that wide stance again will help. And then we just bring the stance into whatever stance we can hit depth with. And what do? We go with whatever weight we can actually handle. I'm not worried about the squat. I already know I'm going to easily get national records on the squat. Not going to be a problem for me. So bench and deadlift need to be a higher priority. So we're deadlift specializing a bit more, and you're seeing that in my training. Right? We're seeing that in my training. Speed pulls the first set, a little rough. After that, it cleaned up a little bit. Had to get in my groove, because again, I don't do much warming up for this stuff. So what are we running here? We're running 300 pounds of bar weight. You know, I pull, I would say my deadlift max at the moment is probably just at 600, a hair over. I need to bring that back up. All right, I need that to come up. So I'm calculating off that. So I ran 300 pounds of bar weight, 160 pounds of chains. Right? It's 160 in chains. People should realize that's a lot of chains on the floor there. This is not just like 50 pounds of chains at this point. It's 160. And they are pretty much coming up off the floor. Not really much chain at the bottom. Some of the chains themselves are fully off the floor. So there's very, very little there touching. And again, focusing on that compensatory acceleration for our speed work. Trying to exert as much force as possible. And again, the work density is much higher now on these because I'm doing 5 triples, we're doing 15 speed pulls in a very short period of time, right? Of course, people always notice the arms. They're like, wow, it's like, guys, it's like I've told you guys in the past, that is my elbow lockout. And I've shown it on so many lifts, including dead hangs from pull-ups and chin-ups and everything else. That's my elbow. That's what it does. It's both arms. This is what it is. What do you want me to do about it? Change my anatomy? Can't. But I never feel bicep strain, ever, on any of these pulls. So that's the beauty of it. And I work on that. I do my incline curls and everything else. But very happy with those speed pulls today. We bumped the Romanian deadlifts 2.5 pounds. Every set of these was hard. I felt like I was within 1 rep of failure on every set. My back, glutes, hamstrings, adductors got hammered I even felt my lats on these. I'm getting to where now the RDLs, because I'm doing a long range of motion, I'm getting well below the knee. Trying to stop a couple inches off the floor is my goal. And occasionally I tap the floor because I misjudge it, trying to get that stretch. This is 360 for 3 sets of 10. But now at this point, I'm even feeling my lats, which is what we want, right? That's why I am combining. You guys are just noticing that because of my sticking point. Where's my sticking point on the deadlift? Just below the knee, right? That's where I stick, always. RDLs help me get that stretch reflex and accelerate through it. I'm now doing bent over rows. There's a big synergy between these two lifts. Right, so I'm focusing on getting really strong at the bent over rows that put me into a very similar position as this RDL. Again, building all of that to pull through that sticking point. That's where I stick. If I can get it past the knee, I'm good, unless my grip becomes a problem. But I'm doing dead hangs. I upped my frequency on dead hangs again since I'm strapping for some of this stuff. And so people had mentioned that with RDLs. They're like, are you losing grip? No, RDLs are not a good grip training tool. You can't double overhand it. Okay, if you have any back and hamstring strength, there is no situation in which you are double overhanding your Romanian deadlifts. It's not going to happen. So then you're stuck with mixed grip. Well, mixed grip doesn't train grip. It sucks for training your grip, right? Just tears your hands up. Terrible grip tool, and now you're dealing with imbalances because we're now having the mixed grip. Just strap up and do extra grip work, which is what I'm doing. It's what I'm doing. You guys will see next the double overhand axle bar deadlifts. Now this is a monstrous grip training tool. This will do way more for your grip than trying to do a mixed grip on those RDLs. And I managed to get 3x3 today. That's all I could handle, because my grip got hit a little bit doing all those speed pulls against the chains. All right, this is hard. And I'm doing dead hangs multiple times a day now. So I think between the dead hangs and the axle bar work, my grip will come up good. So if you guys remember that at the point where my grip was at my strongest, where you guys saw me holding 650 at the top because of chain weight before, it was a lot of axle bar work. Now I also have found the dead hangs really built my grip up to be able to pull past 600 down again. Since that was the only real grip work I've been doing, that's where I'm going to put my focus. These two tools that I have used have done the most ever for my grip, so now I'm going to combine them together. So as long as my grip holds out and I can get a weight past my knee, I am good. So we're putting a lot of specialization into that with the way that I'm rowing with my RDLs, and then we're hammering grip, and I'm hammering grip with the stuff that's going to hit it the best. The dead hangs are going to hit it from a fatigue perspective. It is just holding on for a long time, right? I do at least 3 holds a day, at least 30 seconds from a dead hang. Keeping in mind, I have a relatively fat pull-up bar. It's one thing if you have a little thin bar. Another thing with the bar I have. And then obviously we're doing all of our other posterior chain and back work. So I'm ending with my normal glute ham raises, trying to get a hyperextension on each one, and then my stricter reverse hypers. But back over to the grip, what are we doing with it? I'm getting the real fatigue side of the grip with the dead hangs. I'm getting the burst of holding its intensity, meaning high tension, because again, this is high tension for the hands with that fatter bar and a heavy weight, for very, very short periods, to where I have to squeeze as hard as possible for just a couple seconds, right? For 3 sets of 3. And I'm trying to increase the reps, but I mean, I felt my grip didn't have it on these. So I'll try to see if I can micro-load it from there. So I'm handling the 2 things I need on grip. We're getting the volume in, and then we're getting the intensity in. That is almost a max grip challenge. So if you think about it in terms of max effort work, that's max effort, or max triples at least, or close to. That's heavy grip work. The other is more of the fatigue, metabolic fatigue and hypertrophy side. But keeping in mind, grip is a test of static strength. And people forget that. And I've heard people say, well, shouldn't you be opening and closing? You've talked about full range of motion. But grip isn't just hypertrophy. Right? Grip is not just hypertrophy. Grip is tendons. Grip is neuromuscular efficiency. And a lot of that has joint angle specificity. So we need to be able to grip with a closed hand. And we're getting a different angle with that fat bar anyways. All right, we're getting that. But grip is a little bit different from other things. And I'm not saying you couldn't do some where you open and close, you can. Right? But you're going to get more hand hypertrophy out of that sometimes in grip work, and that's not necessarily what we want. And I think when, again, we look at certain angles and you see my forearms from certain angles, my forearms are not small by any means. They've gotten a lot bigger from all the grip training I've done over the years. And that's coming along nice, and I feel like my grip is improving again. So we're going to keep doing those things to keep it moving. Because pretty much for me on a deadlift, like I said, if I can get it past the knee and my grip holds up, I'm good. But everything else in today is just bent hamstrings, posterior chain. On the strict reverse hypers, I kept with the same weight I've been doing, but I got like 13 reps on the final set, which means I need to bump it. I'll bump it 5 pounds next time. I think we're good to do that because I'm happy with the strictness and everything on these now. I'm quite happy, especially the third set. Like, it felt really, really strict while doing that. So we're in a good place. I'm getting stronger at these really strict ones. And keeping in mind, I used to swing 500 for high reps. But when I went super strict like this, I had to drop all the way to 180, and they were cramping me up. So we built up to 275 now. I'm ready to go up another 5. And we're in a good place. And here's what we need to shoot for as a goal. Whatever your max squat needs to be, you need to be able to do 50% of that per 10 strict reps. Right? So this puts me at 550. If I go another 5, it's basically, 560. My low back we know is strong enough to correctly hold 560. Okay, but my low back might be a weak link after that. Right? Might be a weak link with a straight bar. So we'll keep working on it. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.